Hey, what's up, fight fans? The biggest news in boxing this week is that Turkey, Dana White, and Nick Khan, they are going to build what will be the biggest boxing organization. And there's two things that I'm going to talk about in this video. I like what they're doing and I don't like how they're doing it. Let's start with me not liking how they're doing it. Number one is that I'm going to start by saying this, right? Turkey, when he came to the scene, we, the British boxing fan, didn't really know much about him. But what we knew about him is that this man cares about the best fights and he's going to try and make that happen with the help of two people and more in the background. Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren. And honestly, Eddie and Frank, they've done everything to bring this man to the front row of every organization or everything that involved boxing. And they gave him the blueprint. What we didn't know his intention in the long run. But I guess we do know now. And honestly, I feel like that is not a very good business move, but I'm going to say it's a very clever business move because this man have just played the best chess move to Eddie and Frank Warren, right? Another thing that I need to say, he came in with money, right? And he showed them, okay, Eddie, I'll give you money, you make the fight. Frank, I'll give you money, you make the fight, right? And so they gave him access to everything. And then now he's taken that access and then he dipped. He went and found Dana White and Nick Khan. Nick Khan ran the biggest scripted organization, right? And then Dana White also ran UFC. And here's the thing, I'm going to start by giving you an analogy. So let's say you want to visit one of the best organization or establishment. What you do, let's say you want to go on holiday, you go and check the review of people that have been there or people that have associated themselves with that place that you are going to go. And then you make up your mind based on their fact about that establishment. In this case, we have no good track record of Dana White and his good business practice. We know this man cares more about profit than he cares about people. And if you say, I invite 400 MMA fighters and you tell them, this is going to be anonymous, please give us your opinion about Dana White. Trust me, what you are going to get would be bizarre, like French people say, right? And this is the man that's going on interview and say, hey, I'm here to fix boxing. And that's the problem that I have. I've watched all his interviews and say, oh, my son went on the event and he talked about everything wrong that that event had to do or offer, right? But Dana, you've never once taken criticism and say, hey, this is wrong about my UFC organization and I'm going to fix it. For me, that showed the lack of great leadership because a good leader have to accept to be corrected. Another thing is that I don't like what Dana is saying that, oh, our belt is just one belt and there's no four other name attached to it. To me, that means the WBA, WBC, IBF, and then you're basically discrediting all these other amazing organizations that have been there for generations. These people have a track record of great fighters. The fighter that everyone look up to, guess what? Have been associated by these four organizations and it's been working. Also, everyone is born and say, we want to be world champion. Guess what? When they mean world champion, they mean having the WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF. That is what they mean. But I understand you guys are going to build it, to bring this belt and then decorate it with, this is the Arab money belt. That's how I'm calling it, by the way. That is the Arab money belt. And you're trying to convince people it is a good belt. We understand that. But do not try and discredit the work of every one and their great grandfathers and the businesses and every other person that have worked on this. Also, Dana White say, well, this is not going to be boring. He criticized the way the boxing format work, i.e., there's a fight and then there is people that will have to come and comment. There's Johnny Nelson. I'm not going to talk all the names, by the way. There's everyone that comes. That's what we like. We like to see a fight, and then we like to see either Tony Bellew, Johnny Nelson, or anyone that will come and break down the fight. And we get to see the perspective of those people. And that, as boxing fan, that is what we like. And now you want to cut all those things, which mean those people are going to lose their jobs, right? And then you want to make it as UFC's, fighter after fighters, fighter after fight, or fight after fight, fight after fight, like you said. I feel like that makes sense, but also do not make sense, because guess what? I want to see a fight. I want to see the commentator talking about something, which mean we kind of like get like a nice break. We talk about those other people and then we go back into another fight, right? Another thing that I do not like, right, is that basically Turkey have had a great business with Eddie Hearn, with Frank Warren, and every other people behind the scene in the US, in the UK, everywhere, right? In my understanding, Turkey, if you was going to build this thing that is boxing related, I thought you was going to pick these people that are in boxing. But no, you disregard the people that have helped you to get where you are. We understand you had money, but that money bought you positioning. You bought positioning to get to where you are. Okay, now you can speak to Canelo. Now you can speak to all these other fighters. Okay, Eddie Hearn, you just go down. And then I'm going to take over. And then I'm going to fly to the other side of the pond. And then I'm going to bring Dana. I feel like that for me, it's a no-no. And I know you might want to now, okay, we're going to buy Matchroom Boxing. We're going to buy Queensberry. We're going to buy Boxer or like, I don't know how that is going to work. And another thing that I also think, this is going to disrupt so many things. And now Dana is going to decide who they are going to sell the TV right to all this mega fight, which mean DAZN, Sky Boxing, ESPN, and or any other people. Like, what is happening? Like, I know, like I say, I've got so many things that I love about this move, but the only thing that I don't like are the things that are trying to discredit every organization that have been there, right? And another thing that I need to say, this is the last thing on the negative side of this move, is that it's actually a question that I'm going to ask Eddie, right? 2 questions. So Eddie, the first question is, if you met Turkey and then he told you, Eddie, I'm going to pay for this fight, and then later I'm going to throw you under the bus and build my own organization with Dana White, would you have welcomed him the way you did, you and Frank Warren? Eddie, I want to know the answer. Another question I do have for Eddie is, and Frank Warren, is that if Turkey did not have you two, how long do you think this was going to take for him to get to the position where he's going to start making big fights? In my opinion, it was going to take a long time. Guess what? People was going to see the Arab money belt and they say, well, this belt has no legacy. You guys don't even have like the best fight highlights. You need to build that, right? So for you to just go and overwrite everyone that have helped you, I feel like that is wrong. But now, let's talk about the good side of this. This is me being a fight fan, right? The first thing that I like is that I'm going to see the biggest fight. I'm going to see the best fights being made. And I feel like what they are going to do, they are going to make this belt as the best belt in any way possible, which means they are going to waive off any fee associated to the belt or keeping the belt or any other belt related fee, which means you just got your belt and then you go and live your life, which is good for the fighter. They're also going to pay the fighters way more. They're also going to sign so many fighters. The fighter that have O's, like Dana say, like a lot of O's, we are going to see those fighters. They're also going to promote so many nobody fighters that we don't even know and care about. And we're going to care about those fighters once we start seeing them on the biggest card. So they are going to find Canelo versus someone else with some people that we never know or we knew existed but are a really good fighter, and then we're going to warm into them and start loving those people based on their performance. And another thing that I really like that is going to be good for maybe everyone is that now that I'm 50 and or I'm 40 and or I'm 20, that really won't going to have any weight anymore. Because when you have the Arab belt, the Arab money belt, you fight for that belt and then someone else is going to take it away from you. You come back and fight for it. And it's just going to be the money belt, in my opinion. Because for them to have the repertoire of like fight that all this other organization has, that is going to take a very, very long time. And I know Dana has been on this thing of, oh, I want to build the biggest boxing organization. And if you really know Dana, back in the days, like way back, he used to be a boxing instructor. And now he spoke to Turkey and they're going to make this happen. I had to say this because I know so many people in boxing have so many things to say, but they're afraid of saying it because they are also afraid of losing their position. So I have to be the one to say this. If I'm Eddie, if I'm Frank Warren, if I'm Bob Arum, if I'm the WBA, if I'm the WBC, if I'm the WBO, if I'm the IBF, I would set up a meeting and try my best to find the way to neutralize this and find the way to remove the forks inside the chicken coop. That is all for today. And if you've got anything that you want to say, good or bad, comment below and share your ringside opinions. But apart from that, I hope you're well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. And I hope your mental health, it is going well. That is actually something that so many people need to ask themselves. Are you okay? Is your mental health very well? Well, I'm checking on you because I know there is no boxing without boxing fans, and this is the only place that boxing fans need to hang around.